Most people don't know this easy way to avoid paying taxes on the sale of your timber that could potentially save you thousands and thousands of dollars. So let's dive into today's video. Hi, my name is Madison Raber, and I am a timber sale consultant out of Ohio. I serve all of Ohio as well as parts of surrounding states, and my goal on this channel is to educate you as a landowner or potential landowner on what the timber sale process looks like and how to avoid many of the pitfalls that I see a lot of landowners fall into as they sell their timber. So first off, this is not legal advice. Don't sue me. This is just simply for entertainment purposes only. So with that out of the way, the one thing that you need to get done to not pay any taxes on your timber and save you a lot of money is a timber tax basis. What's a timber tax basis, you ask? Well, it's pretty simple. It's establishing the value of the timber at the point of purchase, at the time of purchase. And timber is an asset, same as a home. So let's break this down of why you do this and how it can help you. So I'm going to give you a very just clean example of what this essentially is doing. So let's say you buy a rental property for $100,000. 5 years later, you sell it for $150,000. What do you pay taxes on? You don't pay taxes on $150,000, you pay taxes on $50,000, your gain. But what if you sold that property for $100,000? Would you pay taxes? No, because that's what you paid for the property. That would be a break even, and there would be no gain to pay taxes on. We'll be using that exact same principle in the sale of your timber. We want to establish a basis for what you paid for the timber, and then you can harvest timber up to that point without paying any taxes, because technically that is a loss. So let's dive into a real world example of what happened on my own property when I did this and how these numbers worked out. So my property, I purchased it for $210,000, and then immediately thereafter got a third party to come in and establish the total timber value. I couldn't do this myself as it would be a conflict of interest, but the total timber value came back at $45,000. So I essentially purchased the property for $165,000 and paid $45,000 for the timber. And that's the premise that we use going into this. Then I did a timber sale. We did a very light selective harvest and just took out the mature timber that was ready to be harvested, and we got $36,000 for that timber. Obviously that's not that $45,000 or up to that point, so I technically took a loss on the sale of that timber, and there was no gain there, and so I paid zero taxes on that timber sale. Now, something to keep in mind with this, that also lowers the basis of your property then. In this example, I later went and sold that property for $240,000 after the timber was taken off, and that made my gain bigger in the sale of the property, and you would have essentially paid the same amount of taxes there. But what I'm able to do is do a 1031 exchange into a different property, thus deferring that gain and never actually paying taxes on that until I cash out of one of these properties. So what does this look like for you? Say you purchase a property, you're gonna look for somebody to come out, establish that value. You'll wanna have it completely broke down of total timber value there, and estimated board feet, and a full breakdown of what's actually there. That way, if you ever get audited, this is something you can show them. And you'll want to get that basis done. Then if you ever get a timber sale done or a harvest done, you want to take that and give that to your CPA. Now, this is crucial, is working with a good CPA. I have heard of people not having success in this if you're not working with a good CPA that's comfortable doing something like this. So finding a good CPA is key. I had no problems on my end. My CPA works with a lot of businesses, and this was not difficult for him at all. But finding a good CPA that you can work with is going to be key in this process. So what if you purchased your property 5 years ago and you're only finding out about this now and you want to do a harvest in the future? This is still doable, as I'm able to age timber backwards. There is a lot of research done on growth rates of different species, so you are able to age timber backwards and establish a value at the point of purchase. So that is not a problem. Up to 7, 8, 9, 10 years, it starts to get a little iffy if you can actually calculate that very well, but for sure within 5 to 7 years, that is not a problem. This is obviously a very useful thing. It could save you thousands and thousands of dollars, as short-term capital gains is simply taxed at your income rate, and long-term is typically 15%. So it's saving you quite a bit of money if you have a good chunk of timber that you're selling. I recommend most people that are purchasing a property get this done as soon as possible, as to get you the most accurate number of what was there at the point of purchase. You can also do a total timber value at any point, even if you don't plan to sell the timber. I think this is a super useful metric to have about your property, knowing what kind of value you have on your property. Picture, going to sell this property and being able to give a breakdown of total timber that is on your property, and you're able to market this with, hey, there's 45 grand worth of timber on this 40 acres, that you can then harvest off. And as a buyer, that's invaluable to know that information going into it. And I feel it's going to command a higher return when you go to sell your property. So if you're looking to have a basis, or even just a total timber value done on your property, and like I said, you're anywhere in Ohio, one of some of the surrounding states, if you're close by, you can reach out to me at my website in the description box below, and just leave a like and a comment and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one.